Hey everyone, welcome back to Dem Boys Fishing. It's the heat of the summer and we haven't been doing that much fishing lately, so I figured I'd do a quick video to show you guys an upgrade that I just purchased for my trailer. Some trick steps. I bought them from tricksteps.com. It's going on my 2017 Phoenix 920 Pro XP. This video will show the unboxing and the quick installation video on how to install the steps. All right, let's take a look at what was in the box there. I apologize for the tabletop. This is my universal tabletop. This I use to paint, as you can see, so I apologize if it's a little hard to see. We got the handle here that is to be mounted to the trick steps. You got the trick steps themselves, a total of 3 steps there, as you can see. There is an abrasive pad here with a safety yellow line there. That seems to be mounted very well. The steps as well as the handle here are powder coated very well. You can see the handle at the top has got a good rounded off knob, and so you won't be cutting your hand or anything when you place your hand on there. I ordered these trick steps with the trick step lock. I found when I was doing my research, trying to find out how the locking mechanism works, how it locks to the trailer, I wasn't able to find many videos that really showed me anything about that. So I went ahead and ordered it. I saw a lot of positive reviews on it. So it was around $50 to $54. So I figured, what the heck, I'm gonna go ahead and order it to just deter a thief. I know it ain't gonna protect it. But with that, it comes with the torch bit there, as you can see. Comes with the coverings there that'll pop in these holes here to kind of make it a little more aesthetically pleasing. You got 4 of the long bolts to match this, or to mount the steps. 2 shorter bolts. You've got 2 bolts or 2 nuts there. You got 4 locking nuts, 2 locking washers, total of 8 flat washers. There's a total of 4 flat washers that has the bottom cut off. I'm not sure what that's for yet, but we'll find out as we go along. The trick step installation steps, as well as the trick step lock installation. So now let's get to installing and see how that goes. As you can see, the steps will mount on the driver's side or the starboard side of the trailer. So with this boat, the tongue swung that way. So we're just gonna have to remove this bolt, swap it around to the other side, and have it swing that way. That way we'll have enough room for the steps. All right, so I figured out what the flat washers with the cutoff side means and where they go. As you can see, it's really close to the welds there and it fits really perfect. Come around here, the full flat washers kind of hit the weld a little bit and don't allow it to seat properly. So that's the purpose for the cutoff edge on the flat washers. All right, so for this step, I got my 4 long bolts, put a flat washer on each one of them. I have found, and I kind of looked around the shop for something to help me because I'm doing this by myself. A 5-gallon bucket, if you're doing this job by yourself, will be your best friend. These steps are not the lightest in the world. They're not too awful heavy. I can lift it with one arm, but trying to hold it steady, that's a different ball game. So I'll take my 4 bolts, put them through the 4 holes there. Just clamp around what looks to be a 45-degree angle bar coming up in the middle of the trailer. I've got a safety marker over here, a reflector. So I'm going just right below that. Give me a second, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. This safety marker here, I'm placing it right below that. So that'll give you an idea of the placement of it. So these two regular washers, they're for installation purposes only, just to kind of help you get a firm guide as to where they're going to be, to follow that up with the lock washers. These are not meant to stay on permanently, so we kind of figured out what these are for. So now comes the plate. The plate has the 4 holes on it in each corner, along with a hole on each side. That'll be for the locking plate to be installed last. So as you can see, the bucket's holding this really well. So now just to kind of maneuver it a little bit to get it aligned. So now that we have the steps secured with the 2 temporary nuts, we're going to come back behind it and we're going to put the locking nuts on the other 2 to lock those down in place. Put the washers on first, and then we can go back and remove the temporary nuts and put the lock nuts on. So we finally got all 4 lock washers on. As you can see here, steps going up. You can see it kind of settles in at the angle that it needs to be, right below the reflective marker. So now let's install the locking plate and see how that works. So I figured out what causes this to be a locking plate. As you can see on the Torx bit here, I'm trying to angle it up there. You'll see a little, lack of better words to call it, a little tit sticking up there in the middle. And on the Torx bit, you can see it's got a little recessed hole there in addition to the Torx bit. So I'm assuming that's what is making it the actual locking plate, to where a regular Torx bit won't fit in there. We'll finish off the trick step lock installation by inserting the rubber caps over the holes. Now it's time to install the handle. For this step, you'll need your 2 short bolts, 2 flat washers, 2 lock washers. So start by putting your lock washer onto your bolt, then your flat washer. We'll get the handle. You will not need a nut for this step, as the threads go directly into the step themselves. On the underside, it's solid, so you cannot get in there with a bolt. You won't need one. So we'll just line these up, get them started by hand. We'll use a 5/8 inch socket to tighten them down. I'm 6'4", so as you can tell, these steps are going to help me tremendously. They are very solid. Step right up onto the boat, handle, right off. If you're loading the boat, you can actually stand on this last step, reach down, and be able to access the winch. I hope you find this video helpful. When I was doing research, I could not find any videos on the trick step installation that contained the locking plate. This one does. I just decided to order it on a whim. Everybody was leaving positive reviews about it. As of right now, I can see where it would be a locking mechanism. So I have no doubt or concern that it may walk off while I'm out fishing. So if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Stay tuned for the next one.